Coming up right now on Marlborough This Week, full details on local election results and a reaction from your city clerk about the record-breaking voter turnout. Students of the Marlborough School District had the day off on Election Day. How their day was spent is coming up. Plus, what you need to know about MRSA, a bacterial infection that is commonly found in hospitals. And later in this half hour, we have a reaction to the results of ballot question 3. A visit to a local Greyhound animal shelter explains it all. Those stories and more on this week's show, which begins right now. Senator Barack Obama of Illinois was elected the 44th President of the United States on Tuesday, leading numerous victories for the Democratic Party. It truly was a historic election, with Democrats controlling both the House and Senate seats, and we have the exclusive interviews with the local candidates, winning candidates, that you'll only see right here. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin right now with this week's top story. In line with state and national results, voters of Marlborough overwhelmingly chose Barack Obama as their next president. Barack was swept to victory as the nation's first African-American president. Unofficial results show that out of 16,349 votes, 9,345 voted for Obama, while Senator John McCain garnered 6,506. In the state representative race between Democrat Danielle Gregoire and Republican Arthur Vigent, in the state Senate race between Democrat Jamie Eldridge and Republican Stephen Levy, the Democrats swept the board, with Danielle Gregoire and Jamie Eldridge winning the election. Gregoire took 7,469 of the Marlborough votes, and Eldridge with 7,024. After constant campaigning and having served as former state representative Stephen LeDuc's aide for the past 5 years, a win for Gregoire is something that she was waiting to see.
It feels really great. We worked really hard. We ran a great campaign. I had a lot of help, and I had a lot of people counting on me.
Jamie Eldridge will take over the seat vacated by retiring State Senator Pam Rezor, which are big shoes to fill.
Wherever I've gone, people have asked me to continue the work that she has. One of the specific requests is to continue the senior conference, and so that's something I've already committed to doing.
Tuesday was a night for Democrats, with Republican candidate Arthur Vigent wishing maybe he were on the other side.
I mean, we ran our campaign, we did a good job. We got the message out there. It was within a couple of percentage points, and we did what we thought we needed to do.
With Republican candidate Stephen Levy winning the Marlborough votes, stated that he just didn't have enough support in surrounding communities.
We needed a big win in Marlborough. I'm glad that the people of Marlborough did support me, recognize the work that I've done as counselor here, but it wasn't enough to overcome his advantage in the northern end of the district.
In other results, Marlborough voted in line with the state results for all 3 ballot questions. Ballot question 1 is a proposed law that would reduce the state personal income tax rate. Marlborough voted no, which will make no change in the state income tax laws. For ballot question 2, Marlborough voted yes, and the law will replace the criminal penalties for possession of 1 ounce or less of marijuana with a new system of civil penalties. And finally, ballot question 3, the yes vote will prohibit dog races on which betting or wagering occurred, effective January 1st, 2010. With a visit to your city clerk, Lisa Thomas, we found a pleasant disposition in regards to this year's election.
I think the election went very smoothly. I'd like to thank my wardens, my clerks, my inspectors, specifically my staff. Everybody pulled together for a very, very smooth process Tuesday evening. It was reported that this year's elections far succeeded previous elections, and I'm very, very proud that the Marlborough residents came out to cast their vote, as everybody wanted to make sure their vote counted.
Marlborough schools had the day off on Election Day, while teachers had their professional development day. While we were all voting on Tuesday, students got out for some roller skating action. Marlborough residents were busy voting this past Tuesday. The Marlborough School District had the day off as teachers took part in a professional development day. To provide a fun, exciting day and to raise some money for the Marlborough Education Foundation, members invited students to Roller Kingdom in Hudson for some skating action.
Looks pretty good. I was a little concerned because sometimes when the weather's really nice, people want to spend time outdoors, but we're getting a lot of people trickling in, and it looks like it's going to be a great event.
Kids skated, played games, and socialized all day for a great cause.
The Marlborough Education Foundation raises money to provide grants to teachers in the Marlborough Public Schools for innovative or new programs that ordinarily would not be funded through the regular school budget. Teachers come up with an idea for a program or a piece of equipment or something like that, and they write grant proposals to us.
At the next school committee meeting, members will select the winners of the grant requests. According to President Cindy Brown, now more than ever, these small local events are extremely important to the foundation's survival.
And especially with the economy in such question at this time, the school budgets are tightened, and any extra funding that we can provide via the grants that we offer can only help.
A Westboro man charged with stabbing 2 people over the weekend was ordered held without bail at his arraignment in Marlborough District Court on Tuesday. 31-year-old Roberto Rivera was arrested Monday following a stabbing at McDonald's on Route 85 early Saturday morning. Police believe the incident grew out of a confrontation earlier in the night at Speaker's nightclub. Police are also investigating a 2 a.m. Saturday stabbing in the parking lot of the Lazy Dog restaurant, just minutes after the McDonald's stabbing. No one has yet been arrested in that case as of Tuesday night, and police do not believe the stabbings are connected. Budget cuts and the tough economy crisis seems to be on the forefront these days, but as the colder months approach, preventing sickness is on the top of the list as well. The superbug, or MRSA, is one of a number of bacterial infections commonly found in hospitals, and now it's being found with an increasing frequency outside of hospitals. Representatives of Marlborough Hospital recently joined with residents to speak about the illness and talked about preventative tips to stay MRSA free. Residents got a major dose of reality as representatives from Marlborough Hospital dissected the misconceptions of MRSA, or more commonly known as the superbug. A presentation was given by Dr. Viba Sharma and nurse Donna O'Connor to show residents what the superbug is and what they can do to protect themselves.
The superbug is MRSA, methicillin-resistant Staph aureus, which is a staph type of infection. And the difference between this staph infection and others is that it's more resistant to more types of antibiotics.
This superbug was unheard of 25 years ago and was only found on very rare occasions in hospital intensive care units around the world. Today, the infection is found more commonly and is not only found in hospitals, but in community areas such as gyms.
MRSA can be just a simple infection, simple in that if you're a healthy person, you may not have any symptoms at all, and you just may be colonized. And the other end of the spectrum is you can die from MRSA. It's taken very seriously throughout the healthcare community as a result of that.
Each case is different and depends on the immunity of the patient and the infection resistance to antibiotics. There are steps you can take to avoid ever acquiring MRSA.
Residents can protect themselves from MRSA by washing their hands frequently, keeping their hands away from their face, washing down areas like telephones and doorknobs and countertops, not sharing towels, not sharing other personal items such as razors or clothes or gym equipment, and just once again washing your hands.
By following strict technique, Marlborough Hospital is pleased to announce that there have been low amounts of MRSA, but the message and education about MRSA needs to continue.
There's a lot of proactive steps being taken out in the world today. The Center for Disease Control, the World Health Organization, and the Joint Commission in our country are putting out guidelines that we are to follow, and they're really encouraging and educating people as to all the steps to take in hospitals and in the community to prevent getting MRSA, and we are continually looking at those methods to protect from MRSA, and I'm sure we'll be doing that for a very long time. But our goal is to get rid of MRSA.
To continue with our healthcare facilities, Marlborough Hills Healthcare Center is proud to announce the completion of their multi-million-dollar renovation project. The public was invited to share in the excitement by attending an open house and a ribbon-cutting ceremony with Mayor Nancy Stevens. Mayor Nancy Stevens, members of the City Council, and the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce came together Thursday evening to celebrate and congratulate members of the Marlborough Hills Healthcare Facility.
We are so lucky in the city of Marlborough to have a world-class facility like Marlborough Hills, and for Marlborough Hills to expand and do the renovation and their commitment to the community, their commitment to our residents. I want to really thank you for everything that you do for our residents in this community and the surrounding communities.
A recent renovation project prompted the event, which drew a large crowd to the 121 Northborough Road location.
We just completed a $2 million renovation. It included not only the foyer and the lobby, but also the resident rooms. Totally gutted the building, and our new walls, new nurses stations, new window treatments, the whole building throughout.
At Marlborough Hills Healthcare Center, a team of licensed nurses and certified nursing assistants work under the direction of the primary care physician to provide 24-hour skilled nursing care.
You know, residents who live here and get the health care here makes it much more higher quality of life, higher quality of health care, and a much better setting to receive that care. Personal attention, it's just a nice high-quality place to live and get health care.
The open house featured great food and drink, a string quartet, and chocolate fountain. The mayor concluded the event with a presentation of a certificate of recognition to the Marlborough Hills facility.
Marlborough Hills Healthcare Center is being recognized on the occasion of the ribbon-cutting ceremony at 121 Northborough Road in the city of Marlborough, Massachusetts on the 6th day of November 2008, and has extended best wishes for success in its business ventures in our community, signed by myself, Mayor Nancy Stevens. Again, thank you so much for your commitment to the community. This is wonderful, and I invite everyone to come down and see your new facility. Thank you.
Still to come in Marlborough this week, the Lions Club recently inducted 7 new members. Who they are is coming up. But first, the annual Boys and Girls Club Gala brought out local celebrities for a great cause. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Obesity in America is at an epidemic level. During the last 30 years, the rate of childhood obesity has tripled.
Childhood obesity involves much more than simply being overweight.
So what can we do to help our children?
Plan family exercise. Take the kids to the park.
We can limit the snack or junk foods kept in our homes.
Go for a family walk or bike ride, or simply throw the ball around the backyard.
Together, we can make a difference in the health and well-being of our children.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. In order to keep their yearly fee of only $25 a year, the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West recently held a gala to raise money to support the wonderful children of this community. The focus of the annual fundraising gala for the Boys and Girls Club of Metro West is on the kids. The organization hoped to raise over $100,000 with this year's 2008 St. Mary's Credit Union Bids for Kids auction and gala, which was held at the Framingham Sheraton Hotel. The money will help fund summer and after-school programs.
It really goes to support the kids in all of our clubhouses. So it's something that we're able to get summer camp scholarship support for our kids during the year, because our membership fee at $25 is something that we need to raise additional funds to be able to provide that for the families.
Before the event even started, through sponsorships, the organization had already raised $85,000.
Well, we think it's an investment in our communities and our future. The communities of Marlborough, Hudson, and Northborough, where we have branches, as well as the surrounding communities, have been really great to us since our inception in 1913. An investment in our kids, I think, is the smartest investment we can make.
The rest of the money will come from ticket sales and a silent auction. WCVB-TV Channel 5 anchorwoman Susan Warnick emceed the event, which was expected to draw an audience of 300.
I was once a kid myself in Metro West. You know, I think people know I grew up in Natick. And I've seen an awful lot of changes in this area over the years, but one of the things that I have not seen change is the huge collective heart in this part of the country, and certainly in this part of the state. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to show the rest of the state of Massachusetts, if not New England and the country, how great Metro West is.
Mayor Nancy Stevens and Superintendent Mary Carlson attended the event as well.
In this economy, we really need to have both parents are working. Children need a safe place to go, a place that they're supervised, that as parents we feel comfortable that the children are there, but they feel comfortable, and they've got great activities and the homework club and tutoring. I don't know what we'd do if we didn't have something like that for our students.
Marlborough, particularly for our kids, I really don't know what so many of our kids would be doing after school if it wasn't for the Boys and Girls Club and the City of Marlborough.
Patricia Pazanis, a 33-year board member, was the recipient of the Michael C. Sullivan Memorial Award for outstanding volunteerism.
Michael was a nice little boy and unfortunately died tragically, and I feel very honored to think that they would give me that award.
A major portion of the silent auction were 5 digital art pieces made by club members. The event last year raised more than $100,000 and raised $50,000 the first year. The Boys and Girls Club of Metro West includes 3 main clubhouses in Marlborough, Hudson, and Framingham.
The second annual Smart Routes to School Forum was held this past Thursday at the Royal Plaza Hotel. Safe Routes promotes healthier alternatives for kids and their parents to travel to and from school, and the day was all about future initiatives. Here's news reporter Brian Sullivan with more.
The second annual Massachusetts Safe Routes to School Forum arrived this week, promoting safe and healthy ways for kids to walk and bike to school. The program also hopes to reduce congestion, air pollution, and traffic issues that arise at participating schools, all the while getting kids to have fun exercising rather than sitting bored on a bus. Donna Smallwood spoke first at the event. She's the program's operations manager at Mass Rides, which sponsors the Safe Routes to School program, and talks about some of the success it has seen early on.
It doesn't necessarily take that much longer for kids to bicycle and walk to school, and when they do, they've had activity in the morning. They've had an active start to their school day, and they've had some time often with parents and other adults. So it's a time to for families to be together. And teachers tell us that when the kids bicycle and walk to school, they arrive at school having had a little exercise and some fresh air and ready to sit down and learn.
Thursday's forum was set up to not only tout the progress the program has made in Marlborough, but to expand the idea to other cities and towns.
We want to take the schools that are already doing good things, like Marlborough, and use them as models for the schools that haven't started yet.
Martin Levins, the president of the Marlborough Public Schools Foundation and chairman of the Business Council for the Marlborough Wellness Program, attended in a non-speaking role. As someone who used to walk to school himself, Mr. Levins was pleased to see the increase in numbers in such a short time.
Number-wise, we started the first walking school bus we did, we got about 3 dozen kids, maybe about a half a dozen adults. We finished up last week, and between 3-4 schools, we had about 300 people walking last week. And we sort of finished up for the season, if you wish. The winter will come and go, and spring, we'll start up the walking school buses and other outside activities in April next year.
With the Marlborough program having nearly reached the 1-year milestone, the city now qualifies for assessment for infrastructure improvement. Should the assessment show that it is necessary, the city would then receive federal dollars to improve certain roadways and walkways that may be currently less than desirable to walk on.
In a relatively short amount of time, the Safe Routes to School program has seen great success here in the city of Marlborough, promoting not only safe and healthy means of exercise among the children, but also promoting community among the parents, teachers, and law enforcement. For Marlborough This Week, I'm Brian Sullivan.
Continuing with our schools, the Kane Elementary School invited local celebrities to read to students Thursday morning, which was aimed at emphasizing the importance of curling up with a great book. We were there. Take a look. On Thursday morning, Kane Elementary opened their doors to select individuals as a community reading took place. All students were read the same book, Michael Recycle, a book about a young boy trying to save the world by recycling. Superintendent Mary Carlson was amongst the individuals that read to the elementary students. Readers stopped to ask the students questions about rhyme words they learned, and of course about recycling.
All students enjoyed having the special guests into their classrooms. One classroom in particular, in my opinion, may have had the most fun as Assistant Superintendent James Jolliker dressed the part of Michael Recycle. Amongst all of the fun, all readers to supplement the teacher's message encouraged all the students to make reading a part of their day every day. Each year, Lions clubs around the world proudly sponsor the Lions International Peace Poster Contest in local schools and youth groups. This contest encourages young people worldwide to artistically express their visions of peace. The theme of this year's Peace Poster Contest is Peace Begins With Me. Middle school students presented members of the Lions Club with homemade posters earlier this week to enter in the judging contest. Results will be announced at their November 12th meeting. And speaking of the Lions Club, members recently held an induction ceremony to swear in 7 new members. The Marlborough Lions Club recently held an induction ceremony at a club meeting. 7 new members were inducted into the club thanks to a recent membership drive. Louise Kirkpatrick from the Holliston Lions Club came to perform the induction and was extremely pleased with how many new members there were.
I'm very honored to be able to do an induction of 7 new members because there are not many clubs who can claim 7 new members at one time. So you have done a fabulous job. This here represents a 20% increase in your membership as of one night.
Louise spoke to the new members, reciting what being a lion means and presenting each new lion with a pin. After pictures and a chance to banter, each member was asked to present themselves to the club and speak a little bit about themselves. Anyone who would like to enjoy dinner with the Lions Club may call John Usenis at 508-485-4149. Meetings are at 7 p.m. the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of the month at the Royal Plaza Hotel. And the deadline for dinner reservations is the Monday before the meeting. Still to come on Marlborough this week, we have a special Pet of the Week and a performance by Boston's Longwood Symphony. Stay with us. We'll have those stories after this short break.
It's getting cold out, and I would like to make you aware of the correct way on how to use space heaters. Space heaters, if not used correctly, can cause fires. Give space heaters space. Keep them at the very least 3 feet away from anything that can burn, including yourself. Unplug heaters when you're not using them, or when you're leaving your home, and especially when you're going to bed. Remember, space heaters are to be used for heating space only. As always, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Longwood Symphony Orchestra, the Boston-based award-winning organization, took the show on the road this past week. The orchestra joined residents and families of the Hearthstone Alzheimer Care at New Horizons, an assisted living and retirement community. We were there to capture the exciting moments this performance provided. The Longwood Symphony Orchestra graciously provided Hearthstone residents last weekend with musical entertainment aimed at evoking emotion and memories of their past. The symphony performed classical chamber music and hits from the 40s. Music is a healing method used at this facility and was welcomed with open arms on Sunday.
Today is very special and important to our residents for a number of reasons, one of which is the coming out into the community and participating in a prestigious event like this. Also, anything to do with the arts is very evocative and compelling for the residents. They participate in a way that maybe they typically wouldn't. It brings out a whole new side of them, and it's very joyful.
Longwood Symphony is a truly unique orchestra, with 80% of the orchestra's 120 musicians also being medical professionals who represent every major medical center in the greater Boston area. The Longwood Symphony Orchestra is committed to performing concerts of musical diversity and excellence while supporting medical-related nonprofit organizations.
We're here to play for the residents of the home today as our, just kind of as another gift, another aspect of our mission, which is really to merge music and service.
Since 1991, the program has partnered with 31 local medical organizations, helping them raise thousands of dollars and bring additional awareness to specific causes. The concert was a prelude to the Symphony's December 6th concert, an event that will benefit Artists for Alzheimer's, an initiative of the Hearthstone Alzheimer Foundation.
In light of the recent election and now have seeing the results from ballot question 3, we decided to go to Greyhound Friends, a local animal shelter in Hopkinton, for our Pet of the Week. We met up with Louise Coleman of the shelter to see how the results of question 3 will affect this shelter and the population of greyhound dogs. Louise Coleman, director and founder of Greyhound Friends in Hopkinton, Massachusetts, is on a mission to save greyhounds.
Greyhound Friends is a shelter in Hopkinton that is just for greyhounds, and some for greyhound crosses, but mostly for greyhounds that are off the track. And we place about 350 dogs a year, and we help others go to other shelters as well. So it's been a long, winding road, and we're still very active and working hard at this.
In light of the recent election result involving question 3, the yes vote will prohibit dog races on which betting or wagering occurred effective January 1st, 2010. Now, you would think this would be music to her ears, but Louise had a different reaction, stating that yes, the shelter could see more dogs up for adoption, but it could be likely that dogs will be sent to other states to race. Louise is waiting for the day when racing is stopped completely. Louise did make it clear, although, that Greyhound Friends is not a lobby group, but simply a group of people that want to make a difference in the lives of greyhounds. The shelter receives most of their dogs right off the racetrack.
So it's a constant kind of rotation, that we get them in from the tracks, we get them spayed or neutered, make sure their shots are all up to date, we test them with cats, we see who seems as though they'd be all right with little kids and who wouldn't. So it's really a matchmaking kind of process, to make sure we give the right dog to the right people.
Louise wants to make it clear that if at any point the match is not working, you can always bring the dog back to the shelter.
We really try to go to lengths to get to know each dog, and so we can tell people what their qualities are, what their, maybe the pros, the cons, and what there is to work with that would be the best.
Since we are here, we thought it might be nice to get our Pet of the Week from Greyhound Friends. Let's meet Sal.
This is Sal, who's a greyhound from the Raynham track. He came in about 2 weeks ago. He's a nice, friendly sort. I think he'd do well with maybe teenagers, but I think he's a dog that would like to go for walks and have some energy. He's a dark brindle, in good shape. He's neutered, he's got all his shots. I've had him at Greyhound Friends for a couple weeks, gotten to know him, and he's available for adoption right now. If you'd like more information about Sal or any of the other greyhounds that we have for adoption at Greyhound Friends, you can come to 167 Saddle Hill Road in Hopkinton. We're here every day, 9 to 5, 7 days a week. And we also have most of the dogs on our website. It's greyhound.org under available dogs.
Coming up, our local Ironman Kevin Brown is back, and he has a message for all of you at home. And we'll have a look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
It was a creed written into the founding documents that declared the destiny of a nation. Yes, we can. It was whispered by slaves and abolitionists as they blazed the trail toward freedom. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. It was sung by immigrants.
Before we go, our local Ironman Kevin Brown is back. Kevin's on a mission to complete 7 Ironmen in 1 year and to raise money for local charities. He just completed his 3rd Ironman competition Saturday, November 1st in Panama City, Florida. He's got a great attitude and a new website. Take a look. Local Ironman Kevin Brown is on a mission to complete 7 Ironmen in 2008 and 2009 to raise money for charity. So far, he's completed 3, and we met up with Kevin just last week to see how the mission is going and what has been updated in recent months.
We've added 3 more charities to our group of Iron Nuts. As you can see by my new shirt, we've got a new name and a new logo. And I quite think he's a handsome young devil sitting on my chest, so that way you don't have to look at my face too long.
The website, ironnuts.com, has switched around and been renovated to make it easier for you at home to log on and join Kevin accomplish his goals. Bill Beers has helped Kevin make it all happen.
See a little bit about the story, where Kevin Brown comes from, as well as the other 3 nuts that are doing these Ironman competitions. We did that with a little bit of video involved on the front main page, and then after that we broke it down basically for some of the inspirational stories that you can take a look at on the website. Those inspirational stories really show what Iron Nuts and What Are You Nuts is all about.
Log on for yourself and take a look at how you can get involved with Kevin's cause. Russell McMinnon, a friend of Kevin's for over 30 years, has agreed to do an Ironman with Kevin next summer.
I'm doing an Ironman July of '09, and Kevin's going to be my mentor. Kevin's a great individual and very kind person, and he's going to do it.
Whether you want to follow Kevin by doing an Ironman or simply buy a t-shirt to support his chosen charities, it's simply up to you. All we ask is to simply check the website out and check out this great mission.
And we look forward to a successful 2008 and into 2009 for Iron Nuts.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. We want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.
The following program is provided in part by St. Mary's Credit Union.
Coming up right now on this MTW News Update. Veterans Day sweeps the region. How Marlborough paid their respects is in our top story. Local Democrats sweep this year's election. How our newly elected state senator and state representative are gearing up for January. Plus, this week's annual meeting of the Marlborough Chamber of Commerce takes time to recognize 3 individuals. Who they are is coming up. And a public hearing at this week's City Council meeting stirs up some controversy. Those stories and more on this week's MTW News Update. Welcome to this MTW News Update. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin right now with this week's top stories. Veterans young and old were honored across the region on Tuesday as several Metro West towns held Veterans Day ceremonies. In Marlborough, veterans young and old saluted as a trumpeter played taps on Tuesday morning at the Doughboy Monument, a tribute to men and women who have served this country. Among those veterans, Kevin Lambert, 24 years old, spoke to the crowd assembled outside the Walker Building about his experiences serving as a machine gunner in the U.S. Army.
During my 3 short years in the Army, I did 16 long months over in Iraq. The men and women I served with were the most courageous and selfless group of people I've ever met.
Lambert, who works as an outreach coordinator for the State Department of Veterans Services in Boston, was part of the Veterans Day Parade, which started at the American Legion on Maple Street and wound its way down Main Street. Members of the Marlborough High School and Middle School marching bands led the procession, which included veterans, members of the City Council, the mayor, and local Boy Scouts. They stopped at the World War II, Civil War, Korea, and Vietnam memorials to lay wreaths in honor of those who have served. The parade ended at the World War I Doughboy Monument, where Mayor Nancy Stevens read the poem Heroes by Jared Jenkins.
In war, there are lives risked and lives taken. Men and women giving their best to defend what they love. They defend their country, their honor, their people. Some call them soldiers, others call them heroes.
State Representative-elect Danielle Gregoire read a state proclamation paying tribute to veterans and honored their bravery.
Whereas on November 11, 1918, the armistice was signed in the forest of Compiègne by the Allied nations and Germany, ending World War I, the war to end all wars, after 4 years of conflict. Since that day, every November, people from around the nation have gathered to honor our veterans.
It's been just over a week since local Democratic candidates Danielle Gregoire and Jamie Eldridge swept the board in this year's election. We spoke with them about what they are looking forward to come January.
I think that the biggest thing is just that there's a greater ability to work on public policy. I'll be able to be chair of a committee, so to be able to have a bigger impact on public policy is something I'm very excited about.
Going forward, it's going to be a challenge. Our economy is not in a good position right now, and hopefully with change sweeping our nation, we can do some good and help as far as the financial situation goes, but it's going to be a bleak, picture for a few months to the next year and maybe even longer than that, so we're going to have to work really hard.
At the annual meeting of the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce, special recognition was given to 3 individuals on Wednesday. Former State Representative Stephen LeDuc, State Senator Pam Rezor, and retiring Aspet High School Superintendent Eugene Carlo. Mayor Nancy Stevens, along with Joanne O'Leary of NSTAR, presented plaques in their honor. Mayor Nancy Stevens commented on the work done by both LeDuc and Rezor.
When I became mayor, having 2 people that you trusted, you could depend on in the State House, I am truly going to miss both of you so much.
I will echo the mayor's sentiments. You are 2 unbelievable friends and supporters, and thank you.
Martin Meehan, Chancellor of UMass Lowell, was the keynote speaker at the Chamber's annual lunch, and following his introduction, Meehan told the members one of his greatest accomplishments was representing Marlborough in Congress from 1993 to 2003. In addressing the Chamber, Meehan also said 85% of UMass graduates stay in Massachusetts, with 65% remaining for the long term. The university hopes to grow its enrollment and attract out-of-state and foreign students. Meehan told the Marlborough Chamber the University of Massachusetts is essential to the state's economy. Fidelity Investments said earlier this week that it will cut nearly 1,300 jobs this month, with more layoffs to come early next year. This is in response to declining markets that have eroded mutual fund assets, along with the fees Fidelity earns from its core business. Layoff notices will go out to about 29% of the Fidelity's overall workforce of 44,000. The cuts will be spread across the company's far-flung U.S. operations, affecting management positions as well as lower-level jobs. A second round of layoffs is planned in the first 3 months of next year. A large group of neighbors opposed to a proposed cell tower spoke out at a public hearing on Monday night at the City Council meeting, raising concerns about health and property values. The 100-foot pole proposed for 249 Miles Standish Road would accommodate T-Mobile subscribers. The 40-foot by 60-foot site would be surrounded by fences. Christine Forte of Nogler Avenue stated the site is in her backyard and she worries about the possible health effects.
Not a street away, not a couple houses away, but you have my backyard, you have the land, you'll have the tower. This is a backyard where my children and their friends play almost every day, every week, 12 months a year. And I'm terribly uncomfortable and very unhappy with the concept of this tower being placed so close to where my family lives and plays.
Several other residents said they are worried about the health effects as well, but according to federal guidelines, the council is limited in its ability to deny an application based on health concerns. The hearing was the first step in the process, and the proposal will now go to the Wireless Communications Subcommittee. And on a lighter note, Mayor Nancy Stevens and Marlborough Postmaster Nick Zalikas announced the arrival of Santa's mailboxes that are located around the city. A press conference was held on Wednesday to make the announcement and to update the community on upcoming holiday events.
As you can see, we have one of our 3 Santa boxes that we've set up in the city of Marlborough. We have one in front of City Hall, and we have one in front of 240 Main Street. And what we do is we urge all the kids in town to mail their letters and their requests to Santa. And we have special carriers that deliver to the North Pole, and then Santa, of course, will respond.
The Home for the Holiday celebration will be Friday, December 5th, and we will kick off at 6 p.m. with the tree lighting with the Marlborough High School combined choruses. Immediately following, there will be performances at the First Congregational Church, 6:45 the Marlborough High School String Ensemble will be playing, and at 7:30, the Marlborough High School Jazz Band. I'd like to thank so many people who come together for this Home for the Holidays celebration. The Chamber of Commerce, our facilities director, John Galoni, my secretary, Diane Halper, who does everything with this, the DPW, the Recreation Department, the Youth Commission, the Police Department, the Fire Department, the School Music Department, and the First Church. Thank you so much, and I look forward to a wonderful holiday season here in the city of Marlborough.
Well, that's going to do it for this MTW News Update. I'm Kristen Doucette. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week.
The preceding program was provided in part by St. Mary's Credit Union.
Coming up right now on Marlborough this week, the Evening of Giving took over the Royal Plaza Hotel on Thursday evening. What the event aims to do is coming up in our top story. As the economy continues to struggle, the Marlborough Food Pantry needs your help. We took a step into the facility to see what the current situation is. Plus, a group of local nurses are aiming to make breast cancer recovery a more pleasant one. How they're doing it is coming up. And one local Greyhound may be on its way to the White House. You'll meet him later in this half hour. Those stories and more on this week's show, which begins right now. Welcome to Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. Let's begin right now with this week's top story.
It's repetitious, but it's still a challenge every year to get the tables sold, the $50 raffle tickets sold.
On Thursday evening, one of the city's most treasured traditions took place at the Western Royal Plaza Hotel.
This is our 19th year, and my husband started it 19 years ago with the help of a lot of wonderful people, and many of whom are still on the committee.
From 7:30 to midnight, over 1,000 local residents from Marlborough and Hudson turned out to enjoy a spectacular evening and at the same time remembered those who need help.
I think it's a great thing for Marlborough. I think it tells us that our whole community supports people and caring and giving, and I think it's a great thing.
I heard a lot about Roland's House throughout my campaign for state senate. As someone who will be representing Marlborough, it's very important that I get to know all the social services in Marlborough, and this is a very important one that really makes a difference in a lot of residents in Marlborough.
The hospital appreciates always what so many people do for the hospital to make a difference in the lives of patients, and the hospital likes to turn around and make a difference in the community. And we think this is a wonderful community event to be part of.
Proceeds from the event, which featured food from more than 30 area restaurants, will benefit Roland's House, a temporary emergency shelter that houses 18 men and women. The house, operated by the South Middlesex Opportunity Council, is located at 57 Mechanic Street. Formerly called the Marlborough Hudson Homeless Shelter, the house was renamed Roland's House in December of 2005. In honor of Roland Simoneau, a longtime organizer of the Evening of Giving, Simoneau died in July of 2005.
Through his legacy, we're still working for Roland.
As always, area restaurants offer their specialties at the Evening of Giving, including a raw bar with shrimp, oysters, and cherry stone clams, and elaborate ice carvings.
We'll donate money, and we go out and we get some volunteers that come in and open the oysters and clams. We use 15 gallons of cocktail sauce. It's all donated. We don't represent any restaurant at all. And it's the biggest hit.
Checkerboards of Hudson showcase its eggplant Florentine, and the creamery at Trombetta's Gardens on Farm Road provided ice cream treats.
I've been doing this for probably 10 or 12 years now, and it's my favorite time of the year because we're always like the last person down the hallway, and everyone, they always save a little bit of room so they can just load up on the ice cream.
This has been a great event for everyone, and we're happy to make Mr. Simoneau happy in spirit. He may not be with us right now, but this is the project he started out, and we're continuing his legacy no matter what.
As the economy continues to struggle and winter approaches, the city is stepping up efforts to provide assistance for people in need. The new Heat and Eat initiative aims to raise $40,000 for food and fuel assistance this winter, Mayor Nancy Stevens announced on Wednesday. Stevens has met with several other city officials over the last couple of weeks to figure out how to meet an anticipated increase in requests for help. The city will be conducting a toll road collection on December 2nd and 9th between the hours of 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. at the intersections of Route 85 and Main Street. The event is similar to toll road collections conducted by the fire department. Fundraisers will walk up and down the street and ask for donations. All donations will be greatly appreciated. Well, speaking of giving, the Marlborough Food Pantry recently received a major boost by our local Boys and Girl Scout troops. But was it enough to get them through the cold winter months? News reporter Brian Sullivan found out this past week.
You can never underestimate the kindness of strangers in a time of need. Jim Watson, Unit Commissioner of the Marlborough Boy Scouts, knows this firsthand. Fresh off his Scouting for Food campaign, his troops received donations from all sides of the financial spectrum, which is a net positive. On the flip side, despite the high number of donors, the overall intake is down from last year.
The need is far outstripping, what donations there are, and the donations that are coming in are generally smaller than what we've seen in the past.
Watson believes that the tough economy is having a negative effect on everyone, and that includes donors who may have given more in the years past. He took us down some of the aisles of the food pantry to show us which areas need the most help.
These shelves look full, but they're not deep down. So again, any and all type of canned goods, canned vegetables in particular, looks like they could use some canned soups are always necessary.
Other items on that list include jellies, hot chocolate, and coffee, just to name a few. More importantly, though, he has one outgoing message that he hopes everyone will hear.
Donate as often or as much as you can. If you can't wait for someone to come pick up, I would definitely call Marlborough Community Services. They're open here Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. They would more than welcome any incoming donations. And particularly this time of the year, they would love any turkeys for Thanksgiving, for the holidays, store gift cards they will use, Hannaford, Price Chopper, Stop and Shop. They can use any and all assistance that can be given.
On the positive side of things, the amount of generous people hasn't gone down. It's the size of the donations that we've seen drop significantly, whereas in years past we may have seen the schools donate upwards of 800 pounds of food. That number has dropped, but there is still time and there's still hope, and what with Thanksgiving just around the corner, turkeys are most definitely welcome here. From the Marlborough Food Pantry, I'm Brian Sullivan for Marlborough This Week.
A Marlborough man is wanted in a stabbing that occurred on Main Street. 22-year-old Juan Gabriel Lopez stabbed a 24-year-old Framingham man in the stomach outside 185 Main Street last weekend. Police identified Lopez as the suspect after speaking with witnesses. The alleged victim was taken to Marlborough Hospital and released on Monday. Police stated that the altercation started in the apartment building at 185 Main Street and then spilled out into the street. Several people were involved. Lopez, who already has a criminal record, would be charged with assault with a dangerous weapon, the knife, and assault to murder. Anyone with information about Lopez can call Marlborough Police at 508-485-1212. Well, Cavalier Coach decided on Thursday to extend its bus service from the Marlborough area to Boston through the end of the year. The state recently cut the subsidy for the line, and the service was scheduled to end in less than 2 weeks. However, Cavalier decided to take up the cost for the month of December. The service needs to build up and maintain ridership to keep running. The company will see where it stands on December 31st. Well, the Urban Affairs Committee unanimously voted on Tuesday night to deny a proposed new car dealership overlay district. Jeffrey Batta, owner of Marlborough Nissan, sought the overlay district in hopes of moving the bulk of his dealership to a larger location on Route 20 near the wastewater treatment plants. Now let's check out more committee news.
Although Corbin Plaza is scheduled to be auctioned off, the City Council may take up an order to pay for the building for one more year and seek grant opportunities to demolish it. Marlborough foreclosed on the Pleasant Street property earlier this year after former landlord Richard Bland could not pay the more than $700,000 he owed in back taxes and interest. Mayor Nancy Stevens told the Operations and Oversight Committee on Monday that the city does not have the money to continue the liability insurance and maintenance costs after December 31st. However, Councilor could propose an order to transfer funds for those costs and keep the plaza in the city's hands rather than put it up for an auction. An auction is scheduled for the week of December 8th. The Finance Committee on Monday night voted to recommend the original proposal that would give tax incentives for Sepulchre Inc., shooting down one councilor's plan for incentives that favor a building yet to go up. The research-based pharmaceutical company is in the middle of constructing a new building and has plans for a third one at its Waterford Road headquarters. The tax increment financing proposal submitted in September to the council would give Sepulchre a $3.8 million tax break in exchange for 250 new jobs. And finally, the school committee on Tuesday night was introduced to the fact that student enrollment will decrease slightly for about 5 years and then level off, according to projections by a regional educational organization. The annual report by the New England School Development Council is one of the pieces of information used in analyzing future budget, staffing, and long-range planning. Superintendent Mary Carlson told the committee that the report is an important item as the district begins work on the fiscal 2010 budget process. The committee accepted the report and placed it on file. In other business, the Marlborough Education Foundation handed out nearly $7,000 in grants for school programs and projects. The gifts range from $250 for a reading program at the 4 to 7 school to $1,000 for about 15 new keyboards for 7th graders. The nonprofit foundation, which received a plaque from the committee earlier in the meeting, has awarded more than $100,000 in grants over the last 12 years.
Once again, this has been a pleasure to have you here this evening and your support for the community. It was our pleasure to nominate the organization, and I hope that it's just a small way of telling you how much we appreciate everything that you do for the district. And to all the board members, to go out there and raise money in this hard times and to be able to give back to the community, thank you on behalf of the entire school committee.
Still to come in Marlborough this week, as America Recycles Day comes and goes, the city has a message to all residents regarding their cardboard recyclables. But first, Marlborough High School students get a dose of reality as local business representatives give them the real story on what life costs after high school. Stay with us. We're back with that story right after this.
The Marlborough Public Schools Education Foundation needs your help. Honor Others with a Philanthropic Gift is a program that allows you to celebrate a special occasion or honor someone you admire while highlighting good works by giving a tax-deductible gift to the foundation. You can make a donation by going to www.mpsef.org. There you can submit an online donation, or you can send cash or a check to the Marlborough Public Schools Education Foundation at 17 Washington Street, Marlborough, Mass. 01752. Help us make a difference for your public school system.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. Marlborough High School students learned all about financial responsibilities by choosing a career, receiving a paycheck, and budgeting their income at the 2008 Reality Fair on November 14th. The fair was developed due to the need to educate teens in personal finance before they leave the nest. And thanks to local volunteers, each student walked away with valuable lessons. They like to spend it, but young people don't know much about how money works. The fair at Marlborough High School boasted over 30 volunteers from local businesses and organizations who participated in an intensive game to teach teens the importance of budgeting a paycheck.
It's bigger this year. We've been able to add some components to it that the school had asked us to do, including credit cards, student loan payments, identity theft, and public service.
Marlborough High School seniors learned about financial responsibilities by choosing a career, receiving a paycheck, and budgeting their income at the 2008 Reality Fair.
It's a great opportunity for the students to see what real life and real bills and everything is all about.
The annual reality fair was developed due to the need to educate teens in personal finance before they leave the nest.
Times are tough, so this is even more of the importance of really helping kids understand the world that they're going to enter and what they have to deal with.
In advance to the fair, students were assigned the task of finding their chosen career on a government website to determine a month's salary and the percentages of deductions required. The goal is for students to realize that a good-paying job will be essential to cover the costs of their living expenses.
Realize that they get a chance to realize that they have scarce resources when it comes to a salary, and it helps them learn how to spend it wisely.
Students got the chance to talk to representatives from Marlborough Nissan, the Rotary Club, NSTAR, Employment Options, and Bank of America.
It's important for them to know what it means to have a checking account, a deposit account, how their monies are being kept, saved, handled.
Students also got the chance to spin the wheel of fortune or misfortune to see what life might have in store for them as far as unexpected expenses. Major sponsors of the event are the Digital Federal Credit Union, the Marlborough Rotary Club, and the Marlborough Regional Chamber of Commerce. This is a win-win opportunity for all concerned. The students learn to make better financial choices, businesses and students gain exposure to each other in a positive light, and society as a whole benefits from having more financially responsible young adults.
It was all about food, fuel, and the future at the Massachusetts Public Health Association's annual meeting and expo that was held earlier this month. It was an opportunity to learn all about organizations and programs that are making unique contributions to improve sustainability and health of Massachusetts residents. Guest speakers of the Massachusetts Health Association Expo spoke to the community earlier this month about sustainable strategies for healthy communities. The rising costs of food and fuel are interrelated, with links to many public health concerns from obesity and malnutrition. Communities across Massachusetts are working on sustainable solutions to these problems. At this annual meeting of the Public Health Association, representatives spoke to all about how these solutions use both new technologies and old knowledge. Most importantly, they emphasize prevention and precaution to protect the health of our communities and environments. Be sure to check out the American Public Health Association's website at apha.org and learn more about their Get Ready campaign aimed at preparing families and communities for anything that may come their way. Looking now to the future for recyclers, on December 1st, city residents will be required to properly bundle cardboard for curbside recycling. We caught up with Recycling Committee Chair Peggy Ayers to find out more. America Recycles Day took place on November 15th, and we thought it might be a good idea to stop and take a moment to think about what you can do to help your environment. We went to the experts to find out more on ways to go green as we add 3 new R's to your already known reduce, reuse, recycle. First, refuse. Can you use recyclable bags to grocery shop instead of plastic bags?
But occasionally, even if you do stop getting those plastic bags, you will get plastic at home. My newspaper comes in these. Something I bought is come wrapped in plastic. And what I do is I save them up, and when I go shopping at Hannaford's, I drop it in the recycle bins.
Next, rethink. Can you use a towel instead of paper towels? Can you use real dishes instead of plastic? And finally, rot. All foods rot, and Ayers says by composting, you could have usable soil in no time.
There are composting bins that you can buy at the DPW, at Home Depot, or you can make your own. There are lots of websites available, and if anybody needs information, they can check that out online at the City of Marlborough website.
In addition, on December 1st, city residents will be required to properly bundle cardboard for curbside recycling pickup. What this means for you is that cardboard cannot be thrown out as trash as of December 1st. Allied Waste Services will be leaving any cardboard material that is not properly prepared for recycling at curbside. If the cardboard is commingled with your regular trash, the trash will be left at the curbside.
Right now we are trying to look for ways that the city can save money. By taking this one item out of the waste stream, it's been estimated that we can save over $200,000 in less than a year.
All residents are asked to help the city reduce the cost associated with solid waste collection by increasing the community's recycling efforts.
Now that you've saved the city a little bit of money by correctly recycling, it's time to save you some money as well. We met with National Grid Representative Diana Duffy to get the 411 and how to lower your electric bill this winter. Diana Duffy of National Grid stated to us that there are several simple ways to reduce your energy bill this month.
Some basic things folks can do begin at home, including plugging a lot of those everyday appliances or home energy things into a power strip. You're familiar with those. Make sure the computer is plugged into a power strip, TV, DVD player. When those aren't on, if you can turn that power strip off, you'll save electricity right there.
Next, Duffy recommends using a refrigerator thermometer to control the temperature from going too low. Change all of your light bulbs to compact fluorescent ones. Duffy says this is one of the simplest ways to save. Next, control drafts and heat leakage by using caulking. Insulate your pipes. Put a 5-minute timer in your shower to control how much water you're using. And don't forget to bring these energy-saving tips right into the holidays.
Keep in mind that we have much more energy-efficient lights now, or holiday lights known as LEDs, that save way more energy compared to the traditional bulbs we are so used to seeing.
In addition, National Grid has a message to all about an initiative called Energy Bucks.
In the state of Massachusetts, there's over 1 million people who are eligible for additional efficiency funding and measures installed in their house, but fewer than half are taking advantage. Energy Bucks is the link that we're trying to encourage people to check into to see if they're eligible for these and other programs that help them save money on their utility bills.
To find out more about Energy Bucks and to see if you are eligible, please visit their website at energybucks.com. Still to come on Marlborough this week, we'll have your pet of the week and one special greyhound puppy. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
It's getting cold out, and I would like to make you aware of the correct way on how to use space heaters. Space heaters, if not used correctly, can cause fires. Give space heaters space. Keep them at the very least 3 feet away from anything that can burn, including yourself. Unplug heaters when you're not using them, or when you're leaving your home, and especially when you're going to bed. Remember, space heaters are to be used for heating space only. As always, be smart, be aware, be fire safe.
Welcome back to Marlborough this week. The Women's Business Council held their monthly luncheon last Friday at the Embassy Suites Hotel. This vibrant group of women get together to network and encourage each other while listening to inspirational speakers. This past meeting was no different. Take a look. Powerful, successful women graced a luncheon sponsored by Prudential Financial at the Women's Business Council luncheon at Embassy Suites. The aim of the group is to network with each other and provide information about each individual's lives that could possibly help one another.
We have just wonderful women who can tell you how did they make it. And usually they're balancing family, home. And the women that come and attend to Women's Business Council a lot of them are entrepreneurs. A lot of them are solo women, home offices, so it gives them a chance to network and meet with people.
At most luncheons, a guest speaker is featured who exudes confidence and is a successful, powerful woman. Cindy Fitzgibbons, the Fox 25 Morning News meteorologist, spoke at this particular event, giving each member a sneak peek into a life that most don't experience.
I am here in Marlborough today because I got a call, and apparently they have these luncheons the second Friday of every month, and they said, you know, we have women come to speak who have been very successful in their careers and have seemingly made it. And I said, do you have the right person? You sure you want me to speak?
Fitzgibbons touched upon her family, her job, her inspirations, and her crazy work hours.
I'm just talking a lot about my pathway getting me to this point. I think everybody has a different story, and mine was very career focused before the family part started, so I think I had a pretty strong foundation there before I got going with the family, and now it's kind of a balancing act between both.
These luncheons take place once a month, and all are encouraged to get involved. Lunch is $20 per person, and it's a great way to introduce your company to the community. The Worcester County Association of Registered Nurses donated several handcrafted custom comfort pillows to the Marlborough Oncology Department on Tuesday. We were there as Dr. Catherine Edmonston accepted the generous gifts on the department's behalf.
We would like to present you with these comfort pillows, heart-shaped pillows, for post-mastectomy patients to help them through the recovery process.
The Worcester County Association of Registered Nurses has donated several handcrafted custom pillows to the Marlborough Hospital Oncology Department during a press conference on Tuesday morning.
This is so wonderful for our patients to have. You know, they are so well supported with oncology services at Marlborough Hospital. It's really nice for them to be able to have their care close to home, both in terms of surgery and the other things that we do in oncology.
National Cancer Awareness Month, which happened last month, prompted the pillow making for patients and are handmade and heart-shaped.
They actually were contoured in such a way that they can fit under the armpit of patients who have undergone mastectomy to relieve the tension on the scar and provide comfort.
The pillows were produced as a community service project by the organization, not only in recognition of National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but also in conjunction with their annual fall workshop titled Nurses Networking for Breast Cancer.
To be supported by the community as well as to have the medical resources here at the hospital, I think is so important for our patients.
For more information about the pillows and to see the pattern, you can visit their website at heartpillow.dk. Could a local Greyhound shelter have a puppy for Barack Obama's family? Well, according to Louise Coleman of the Greyhound Animal Shelter, she has a 5-month-old Greyhound that she feels could fit right in. Will it be a Greyhound for Obama? Well, that's what Louise Coleman of the Greyhound Friends Animal Shelter in Hopkinton is hoping for. Wee Willie, the Greyhound that's making headlines, is making a run at the coveted White House first dog slot. During a recent press conference, Barack Obama announced that he would be looking for a shelter dog to accompany him and his family at the White House.
I don't know if it would ever work or not, but I figured it was worth a shot, so I emailed people that I'd worked with on the Obama campaign, actually, and we'll see what happens.
Coleman has made a pitch for Wee Willie, a brindled Greyhound who came to her Saddle Hill Center from Connecticut after his mother accidentally sat on him, ruining his racing prospects. Wee Willie is hypoallergenic, with Coleman describing him as a sweet dog who would be comfortable in busy settings thanks to his playful but calm demeanor.
It'd be funny to see Wee Willie running laps around the White House. You know, that would be fun. And he's very sweet. I think he'd be a good little kid's dog.
Should the first family be looking elsewhere for their pet, she has someone in mind to adopt Wee Willie. Since we are at the shelter this week, we thought it'd be nice to meet yet another Greyhound. Let's meet PT.
This is PT. He's at our shelter at Greyhound Friends in Hopkinton. He's been here for a while. He was born in 2003. People are oftentimes afraid of big black dogs, and so that's one of the reasons he's been here so long. He's a very sweet dog. He's great with people. He probably wouldn't be great with cats or little animals. Greyhounds usually live to be 13 or 14, so he's got quite a long ways to go. If you'd like to see PT or any of our other Greyhounds for adoption, our website is greyhound.org, and we're at 167 Saddle Hill Road in Hopkinton. And the phone number is 508-435-5969. We're open 5 days a week, 5.
Coming up, some Boston Bruin alumni are coming to the city. We have all the details and a look at your 5-day forecast. Stay with us.
Hello, I'm Paul Miner, Executive Director of Massachusetts 211. 211 is a non-emergency information hotline that provides callers with the information they need to solve many of life's everyday and sometimes critical problems. Whether it's finding government benefits or services, nonprofit organizations, support groups, crisis response, and official information, Mass 211 can help. This free and confidential service is provided to you by your local United Way. So remember, when you need non-emergency help, call 211.
This Sunday, November 23rd, members of the Boston Bruins alumni hockey team will strap on their skates in a Goodwill Challenge game against 23 local hockey all-stars. The event will represent the Massachusetts Down Syndrome Congress at the New England Sports Center in support of Down syndrome awareness. In addition, the players will be on hand to take pictures with fans as well as autographs. Tickets to the event cost $5, and children under 12 may attend for free. The event will begin at noon, and the two-period game will officially begin at 1:15 p.m. For more information on directions and tickets, please visit mdsc.org. There will be an upcoming brunch to benefit Anne-Marie Beauregard, who at one time was the executive aide to former Marlborough Mayor Mike McGorty. Beauregard has been diagnosed with acute leukemia. In an effort to help Anne-Marie through her illness, a fundraiser is being planned to raise money for the financial challenges facing her at this time. The brunch will be held at Kennedy's Pub on Sunday, December 7th at 9 a.m., which will include food and a silent auction. Tickets are $25 a person and $40 per couple. Call Mike McGorty for tickets at 508-481-3564. And before we go, beginning Monday, November 24th, the parking garage located directly behind City Hall will undergo a much-needed maintenance and renovation project. Lighting replacements, painting, and stair repair will be among the tasks slated for completion. This project will be accomplished in phases with approximately 1/3 of the garage area closed at a time. The project should be completed by February, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact Public Facilities Director John Galoni, 508-460-3521. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Marlborough This Week. I'm Kristen Doucette. We will see you in 2 weeks. Happy Thanksgiving.